Hello and thank you for joining us right here on Luntha television. It's time for news. Enjoy with me, Jacqueline Saidi. First, the headlines.
Pope Leo XIV urges families to keep the flame of love alive. Faith leaders call for fair global tax reforms as Malawi loses billions to multinational corporations. Minister of Health and Sanitation confirms new cholera cases in 5 districts. And in other news, United Kingdom restricts Democratic Republic of Congo visas over migrant return rule.
We have these and more reports. Stay tuned. Of the Angelus in St. Peter's Square on December 28th, the feast of the Holy Family of Nazareth. Reflecting on the Gospel account of the flight into Egypt, the Pope contrasted the trusting obedience of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph with the fear-driven cruelty of King Herod. We have a Catholic News Urgency Report, which is being read by Phallus Chizombe.
Pope Leo XIV noted that the joyful image of Christmas is quickly overshadowed by a death rate, reminding the faithful that even the Holy Family experienced uncertainty, suffering, and trial. The Pope described Herod as a ruler consumed by loneliness and fear of losing power, whose insecurity led to the violence against innocent children, while Bethlehem was filled with light and praise. As the shepherds glorified God before the manger, he said that joy could not penetrate the armored defenses of Herod's palace, where everything was interpreted as a threat to be crushed. Against this dark background, Pope Leo presented the Holy Family as a model of the only true response to evil. Trust in God, who gives himself freely and without reserve. He highlighted St. Joseph's prompt obedience to the angel's command, saying that Joseph's care for Mary and the child Jesus reveals the redemptive value of responsibility and courageous fatherhood. In Egypt, the Pope said the flame of domestic love, entrusted by God to the family, grew stronger, destined to bring light to the whole world. For this reason, he encouraged Christian households today to see their ordinary daily life as a privileged place where God dwells and where faith is transmitted through simple gestures and steadfast fidelity. Pope Leo XIV warned that every age has its heralds, illusions of success at any cost, unscrupulous power, and superficial well-being. These false idols, he said, often result in loneliness, despair, division, and conflict. He urged families not to let these marriages suffocate love within the home. Instead, the Holy Father encouraged families to cultivate prayer, frequent reception of the sacraments, especially confession and the Eucharist, healthy relationships, sincere dialogue, and faithfulness in daily life. After praying the Angelus, he greeted pilgrims present in the square and renewed his appeal for peace, asking the faithful to pray especially for families who are suffering because of war, particularly children, the elderly, and the most vulnerable.
Evangelical Association of Malawi Vice Board Chairperson, Reverend Dr. Davidson Chifungo, has raised concern over deepening inequalities in Malawi, blaming unfair global tax laws that allow multinational corporations that are operating in Africa to pay taxes in their countries of origin, depriving Malawi of billions of dollars in revenue despite hosting those major investments. The EAM Vice Board Chairperson was speaking during an engagement meeting with faith leaders on the 2025-2026 National Budget Analysis, Tax Justice, and the UN Tax Convention, jointly organized by EAM and NCA this year, held on December 29th at Lifestyle Boutique Hotel in Lilongwe. We have more in this report, which has been filed by Gift Kalunga.
Speaking with Vice Board Chairperson Reverend Dr. Davidson Chifungo said unfair international tax laws are a major driver of inequality in Malawi, as multinational corporations investing in sectors such as mining, manufacturing and digital industries pay taxes in their countries of origin instead of where they are operating, leaving Malawi with minimal benefits beyond employment opportunities. He said Malawi loses billions of dollars in potential revenue due to corruption, weak enforcement, and loopholes in tax laws, which companies exploit by shifting profits to countries with lower taxes, adding that reforms are global platforms, such as the UN Tax Convention, are critical to ensure investing companies pay taxes at the source and contribute meaningfully to national development.
From these companies on tax?
Well, the statistics show that we lose over probably 28 billion or 33 billion US dollars because we don't collect enough taxes, we don't collect enough revenue from these big corporations and big companies. And most of it is because, first of all, it's corruption. The people in authority do receive bribes from these companies, and so we don't enforce the law. Secondly, is how the law is structured. There are a lot of loopholes in the laws, and so the companies use those loopholes to evade tax. For example, they will pay taxes in Tanzania or in Zambia where taxes are low, or they'll pay them in Australia. For example, Australian companies will come to Malawi, but they'll pay their taxes in Australia because of how the laws are structured, the tax laws. So we lose a lot of money in those avenues.
On his part, Malawi Council of Churches General Secretary Reverend Alemekezeke Piri said the widening inequality gap is a serious concern for the faith community, as it mainly affects the poor and vulnerable, especially women, adding that the church will continue to speak for the voiceless and engage authorities to ensure economic justice and relief for suffering communities.
Active in this area, and we follow all the issues affecting the poor people in the country, so that we can speak truth to power, so that at least the people can be able to be relieved of the pain they are facing, because the inequality gaps in this country are so alarming, and we are very much concerned as faith leaders, because we are the ones who stay with the people in rural areas where people are facing problems in their daily life.
Meanwhile, the faith leaders have urged the government to prioritize the needs of the poor and vulnerable when making economic decisions. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
The Minister of Health and Sanitation, Madalitso Valoi, says her ministry has put in place a corollary response plan estimated at about $4.4 million, which is approximately 5.8 billion kwacha. But government has so far mobilized only 356,948,000 US dollars, which is around $630 million kwacha. Baloyi disclosed this on Sunday during a press briefing in Lilongwe, where it was also confirmed that the country has recorded 11 new cholera cases. According to the minister, Kasungu has recorded 5 cases, Neno 3, while Lilongwe, Chitipa and Balaga have each registered 1 case. Richard Manoka with the details.
The minister stated that all affected patients reported to healthy facilities in December presenting with cholera symptoms. She said laboratory tests conducted at the National Reference Laboratory under the Public Health Institute of Malawi confirmed the cases. According to the minister, 3 cases were confirmed in Neno district on the 24th of December 2025, with samples later sent to Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital for verification, with confirmed cholera cases on 27th December. Earlier in the month, on 16th December, the ministry reported 3 confirmed cases in Kalonga and Chitipa, which were isolated incidents with no evidence of local transmissions.
As a ministry, we've worked hard to ensure that there shouldn't be local transmission. For example, we are currently working with the other countries just to make sure we are providing coordinated efforts in the fight. We've also mounted some temporary tents where we are providing support, and also we want to make sure that these cases are no longer coming in because they're using capacity just to seek medical attention. So we want to make sure that our borderline is strengthened, and whenever they're coming in with the symptoms, they are already dealt with at the borderline. They are measured and also tested, and also support is being provided in terms of medicine, supplies, just to make sure that Malawians are protected.
WHO Healthy Emergencies Preparedness and Response Officer Dr. Gerudi Jabotera said the agency is supporting government with medical supplies, laboratory capacity, and community-based interventions including water, sanitation and hygiene despite funding challenges. The Minister of Health and Sanitation said Malawi is working with neighboring countries, including Mozambique, to curb the spread of cholera as cases are reported in border areas. She added that the government of Malawi and its partners have activated emergency measures such as enhanced surveillance, rapid response teams, treatment centers, community engagement, and improved water, sanitation and hygiene interventions. For Luntha News, this is Bridget Mwanoka.
Chairperson of the Cabinet Advisory Committee on Presidential Pardons, who is also Minister of Justice Charles Mhango, says government is aware of the overcrowding in country's prisons and has already started putting measures in place to address the problem. He made the remarks after touring Kachere Prison, a women-only facility which is currently holding 162 inmates against its capacity of 80. Bridget Manoka reports.
Mhango said there are many women who are being held without their cases being concluded by the courts, while others committed minor offenses and are detained together with their children, an issue that needs careful review. He said one of the purposes of the visit was to personally assess the challenges on the ground so that government can find practical solutions more easily.
I should mention that Kachere is a special prison for female inmates and remandees only. So we thought we should come and verify certain information and verify by ourselves what is the situation here, because we were taught that this place, its holding capacity is about 80 inmates, but there are more than 160 inmates in this small facility. It concerned us So we wanted to verify, and we've been here for almost 3 hours now.
In her remarks, Minister of Gender, Children, Disability and Social Welfare, Melin Navicha, said some of the women at the prison qualify for release because they committed minor offenses.
As you're aware, we have pregnant women, we have breastfeeding women in the prison. That's why the committee, the president, that are working on these issues this year, we thought it wise to come and appreciate the situation in the prison.
Minister of Justice Charles Muhango toured the prison together with Minister of Gender Mary Navicha, Deputy Minister of Homeland Security Norman Gisale, and the Attorney General Frank Mbeta. Kajere Prison currently has 12 elderly women, 2 mentally challenged women, 9 women with children,
Remember, it's news time right here on Luntha Television. Now, a reminder of our headlines.
Pope Leo XIV urges families to keep the flame of love alive. Faith leaders call for fair global tax reforms as Malawi loses billions to multinational corporations. Minister of Health and Sanitation confirms new cholera cases in 5 districts. And in other news, United Kingdom restricts Democratic Republic of Congo visas over migrant return rule.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, know that it's news time right here on Luntha Television, and that you can also catch us on our Facebook page at Luntha Television, YouTube on Luntha TV, and on Luntha Television app. Moving forward, Kabudula Community Hospital, located in Lilongwe, Bulo, has admitted that many expectant mothers arrive at the facility for delivery without essential items, highlighting persistent challenges in maternal health care in rural areas. The revelation was made when FICID Limited donated medical and food items worth 25 million kwacha to the hospital as part of its 20th anniversary and Christmas corporate social responsibility activities. The facility's in charge, Deborah Katete, said increasing healthcare demand has strained the facility's capacity and called for greater support. Tandwem Zumara has more on this report.
According to Kabudula Hospital in charge Deborah Katete, the growing demand for health services has overstretched the capacity of the hospital, which serves a catchment population of about 417,000 people in Lilongwe rural capacity. She cited water shortages, unreliable electricity, and aging infrastructure, most buildings dating back to 1962, as major challenges affecting quality care. Welcoming the support by FICID, she appealed to well-wishers and development partners to assist the hospital with additional water tanks, power supply, and infrastructure rehabilitation to strengthen health service delivery in the area.
Sante, RGC Boloa, even in Chinji, they also come here for our services. So we really cover a larger community, and we are also a hub for the health centers that we have. So the assistants that have brought, they have not only helped Kabudula Community Hospital, but they have also assisted even those the community at large, because the items that they have brought, they will cover all dimensions of the hospital.
FICID Executive Director Gondwani Nanchukwa said the company was aware of existing gaps in Malawi's health sector, which motivated the donation aimed at supporting both patients and health workers.
Not at all, because it's our heart we want to reach and impact communities. Yeah, so we are happy that we have spent 20 years in existence here in Malawi. Then we thought that let it be also the season when we can appreciate, we can show our love to the communities here.
The donation included mattresses, wheelchairs, hygiene supplies, protective clothing, food items, tents, and equipment for transporting and storing medicines. In addition, 150 members of staff received shopping vouchers worth 100,000 kwacha each to redeem goods at typical stores. For Luntha News, this is Tandiwe Mzumara.
Members of Mvama Living Waters Church in Area 49 Nilongwe on Sunday held celebrations to mark the elevation of their pastor, Moses Magawa, from Reverend Pastor to Bishop. Church leaders and congregants described the occasion as a moment of great joy, thanksgiving, and recognition of God's work in the life and ministry of Bishop Magawa. Gift Karonga has filed this report.
Speaking during the celebration held on Sunday, December 28th, Church Administrator Engineer Patrick Pitti said the elevation was a result of Bishop Magawa's hard work, dedication, and humility in serving the church. Pitti said the congregation remains committed to supporting Bishop Magawa through prayers and cooperation as he continues to shepherd the church in his new role.
Very big celebration, and we really appreciate God to say that through his hard work and his dedication, God has actually answered him and considered him to be elevated to the position of the bishop, which we are all happy as the Mvama Church, and we really thank God for this elevation.
During the celebration, the church organized a feast and presented gifts to honor Bishop Magawa's elevation. In his remarks, Bishop Magawa thanked God for the honor, describing the elevation as a significant milestone in his spiritual journey. He also expressed gratitude to the church leadership and members for their support and celebration organized in his honor. The bishop further said he is encouraged by the growth of Mvama Living Waters Church since its establishment and prayed to continue leading the congregation with humility, commitment, and dedication.
An achievement when somebody has just moved from this one position to another position, but all in all, I thank God that today at Mvama Living Waters, the church organized a number of activities in celebrating me as one of the bishops in Living Waters. Every day I saw how happy the church was, the gifts that they have presented to us. We don't take it for granted. So I'm so glad that this has happened.
Apostle Dr. Stanley Esindovi, who is the founder of Living Waters Church in Malawi, ordained Reverend Moses Magawa to become a bishop in September 2025. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
Lastly, in international news, a row between the United Kingdom and the Democratic Republic of Congo has escalated over what London calls Kinshasa's refusal to cooperate with its new policy of returning undocumented migrants and people convicted of crimes. On Saturday, the UK's Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmoud, announced that she was stripping the DRC of fast-track visa service and preferential treatment for VIPs and government officials. We have an African News report being read by Tandiwe Mzumara.
Mahmoud warned that London could block visas to all Congolese citizens unless Kinshasa steps up cooperation. According to Mahmoud, this is just the start of the measures they are taking to secure the border and ramp up the removal of those with no right to be there, and they expect countries to play by the rules. She praised Namibia and Angola for agreeing to cooperate with the changes. The move follows sweeping immigration reforms Mahmoud introduced last month as Prime Minister Keir Starmer's government looks to stem the flow of irregular migrants into the country. The changes include making asylum status temporary and speeding up deportation for migrants who arrive in Britain without documents. Asylum applications will be reviewed every 30 months and people will have to return to their home countries once they are deemed safe. Asylum seekers will also have to wait 20 years before applying for permanent residency, up from 5 years currently. Official figures show that UK asylum applications have reached a record high, with more than 100,000 people asking to remain in the country in the year to June 2025. Government critics have called the new measures barbaric and accused the government of departing from Britain's historic commitment to protecting refugees in an effort to appease the far right.
With our report, we conclude the news bulletin, but before we go, let's have another look at the headlines.
Pope Leo XIV urges families to keep the flame of love alive. Faith leaders call for fair global tax reforms as Malawi loses billions to multinational corporations. Minister of Health and Sanitation confirms new cholera cases in 5 districts. And in other news, United Kingdom restricts Democratic Republic of Congo visas over migrant return rule.
You have been with me, Jacqueline Saidi. Thank you very much for watching Luntha Television and happy holidays.